Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl again, Niella Obijiaku, and we're back with another video. So guys, today's video I'm going to be doing a simple everyday makeup look, and this video is going to be titled, I'm going to title it Makeup for Beginners. So this is like an office makeup look for makeup dummies. Yeah, so I'm just going to tag this way because I'm going to try as much as possible to be really self-explanatory. I don't know if this video is going to be too long, but if it's going to be too long, just bear with me, and I'm sure you're going to learn one thing or two in today's video. If you're seeing my face for the first time and you're yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love you to click that cute red button that says subscribe to my channel while you're turning on the bell so you don't miss any new video whenever it goes live on my channel. And if you're an old subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me to this present time. You guys are the realest MVPs. So guys, let us get into today's video. The first thing you want to note, or that is going to make your makeup easy and is going to make your makeup application really easy and fast, you have to ensure that you lay out all your makeup products, both brushes, sprays and everything, on the table, something you can easily reach so you don't have to look for it. I know it sounds cliche, but trust me, if your makeup is in a place where you can easily reach for each product at any particular time, you're going to reduce the amount of time you're going to spend doing your makeup. So the first thing I would like to do for this makeup tutorial, or for this video, is I'm going to be doing my face routine first of all. And this routine I'm going to be doing is optional, even though I have a foundation routine, detailed foundation routine on my channel, but I'm going to be doing routine today for you guys afresh. So the first things first, I already moisturize my face. Ensure that you do your skincare first before you begin to think about doing makeup. Like skincare first. So if you're going to do anything, layer it. I have done my skincare routine, and I am also wearing a moisturizer. The first thing and the first product I want to go into is my primer, and this is from Fair Gold. You can use any primer of your choice, so as long as it is suited for your skin type. So if you have an oily skin, ensure you're using a primer meant for oily skin. So I'm just going to be taking a tiny bit . I don't know if you guys can notice the motion at which I am applying this. I'm applying this in a downward outward way. I'm going to allow my primer to sit in for a little while I clean my hands or wipe my hands. And this is optional, but I like to do it so that it can help me lock in my primer before I go over to my next step. I'm going to be spraying a little setting spray, and this is from Royal Makeup. This is their matte setting spray. I'm just going to be spraying . I'm just going to allow this good stuff soak into my skin, and I'm going to be going into foundation next. For my foundation, I'm going to be using my Juvia's Place foundation in the shade Malawi, and I'm just going to be taking a tiny bit because this foundation, a little goes a long way. If not, you're going to be wasting your foundation. Go ahead and use whatever foundation brushes or whatever foundation tools you use to apply your foundation, but for this tutorial I'm going to be using this flat foundation brush to buff in or blend in this foundation. I'm not only going to be applying this, I'm also going to be using the brush to buff it in as well. Next thing I want to go ahead to do is to apply my concealer to highlight the highest point of my face, and I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place concealer. And if you're highlighting, since it's an everyday look, please ensure you're using one shade lighter than you. You can go ahead and use 2 shades lighter than you, but you're going to spend a lot of time trying to blend it in if your blending skills are not 100%. So to play safe, just use 1 shade lighter than you so that you can easily blend it and you spend less time trying to blend it into your skin. You don't have to spread your concealer all the way to the end of your eyes, just a little, because when you're trying to blend it into your skin, it's going to keep spreading, and if you use a lot, before you know, you'll be blending it almost into your ears and you wouldn't want that. So the trick here is less is more. Try to use less products as you go, because when you use a lot of products, you're going to spend so much time blending and you may get frustrated. You end up cleaning your entire face, and we don't want that. I'm just going to let this sit into my skin just for a tiny bit. Most times I do this with liquid concealers. If I am, you know, very conscious of it, and if I remember, I try to allow it to sit into my skin just for a tiny bit, for a few minutes or for a few seconds. Then I can go ahead and blend it into my skin. Again, the choice is yours. Either use a beauty blender or use a flat foundation brush, a concealer brush, or a foundation buffing brush to blend out your concealer on the highest point of your face. But if you're using a beauty blender, ensure that the beauty blender is damp. I did not say wet, damp. And I like to blend more into my inner corners before I go all the way to my outer corners. That way you don't concentrate a lot of products at this side and you end up trying to force it into your ears or all the way into your temples. As you can see, I'm not dragging the product. I am just, you know, trying to blend it in, like push it into my skin. The next thing you want to do is to go ahead and set your highlighted areas. That's why a lot of people try to blend out their, you know, contour shades before blending out their concealer, before blending out their highlight shades. And I just like to do my highlight first before I do my contour shade, because I don't have, in fact, 3 out of 10 is when I get to do cream contour, but 7 out of 10 I do mostly powder contour. And to set my highlight, I'm going to be taking my Royal Makeup palettes. If you have a setting powder, good and fine, perfect. You can use that to set under your eye area. I'm going to be using the white shade here. It's called Crystal, and I'm going to be patting this under my eye. I'm making sure under my eye is well blended before I pack. So the next thing I want to go ahead and do after highlighting and setting the highest point of my face is to go over to contour. Like I said, I don't like to do cream contour. To me, I feel it's a waste of time. I only do cream contour when I'm working on clients, but if I'm doing makeup on myself, I just go ahead and do powder contour. And I'm going to be taking the darkest shade in this palette. Ensure when you're doing your powder contour, you're setting your contour, you can use two shades darker than you, because if you use 1 shade darker than you may not actually get a well sculpted face. So I'm going to be concentrating this on the hollows of my cheekbones. So the hollows of your cheekbones is, so if you don't know where to find it, you can just as well do your mouth like this, and it can show you where to apply the contour shade. So while I'm applying, I am blending at the same time, because baby girl do not want harsh lines, and I don't want to go over again after start setting my contour, or after doing my contour I begin to find ways on how to blend it. So my trick is, while applying, blend almost immediately. It's going to make your application fast. For my nose contour, I'm going to be using the same shade, but I'll also advise you, for your nose contour, please do not make it too harsh. If not, you're going to be seeing the same lines. And thankfully I have this very cute small palette, and I'm going to be mixing the shades together. So I'm going to be taking that one I used for my contour, and I'm going to be mixing it with my own powder shade, so it is not too harsh, okay? Because you wouldn't want to make your nose contour too harsh, where people will begin to see the obvious line, on on your nose. It doesn't look nice. So most times I like to just take it down, blend it down. Like I said, less is more. After all this, I want to go into my powder to blend everything together. I could do this first, or I could go ahead and apply my highlighter before I blend everything together. Application of highlighter is optional. It's your choice if you want to. So I'm just going to be placing it on the highest point of my cheekbones. Yeah, my forehead, my chin, and the bridge of my nose. I'm just going to be using my finger to apply this. Sometimes I like to do this before I blend my entire face, so that when I'm applying my powder, everything is blending together. I'm going to be going in with my powder shade, and this is my powder shade, going in with a powder brush, and I'm going to be applying my powder all over my face. While applying, I am also blending. So punch in your products first, punch in your powders first before you begin to blend. After this entire thing, I'm going to go over to set my face, because I would want my makeup to settle before I go over to the next stage. I'm going to be using my setting spray to do this. I'm going to let this dry for a bit before I go over to my eye makeup. The next thing I want to go into now is to do my eyebrows, and I'm going to be using a pencil for this. First things I always like to do is to take my spoolie and brush my hair in place. Sure you brush the hair in the direction you want your brows to go in. So I outline just a very simple brows, nothing too spectacular. So I outline first, and I begin to fill in, beginning from the end. I don't start to fill in my brows from the beginning, so I begin to fill my brows in, from the end. I'm going to do the same thing for this place. Just fill it in lightly. Take my spoolie, brush everything all together. Next thing I want to do is to go ahead and highlight, and I'm going to be using my Juvia's Place concealer again to highlight or to sculpt and define my brows. For the top of my brows, you guys don't want to end up using a concealer lighter than you. 2 shades, 3 shades, whatever. Just go ahead and use your foundation shades. Even if you don't have a concealer specifically for your eyebrows, please and please go ahead and use your foundation shade to sculpt, define and highlight your brows. So I'm going to be going back in with my Juvia's Place which I really don't have to do because the top of my brows are okay. After that, you may want to go ahead and use the leftover concealer or foundation you used for your brows and apply it on your eyelid. But I am not going to be doing that for this tutorial. So I'm just going to be applying this. This is just going to act as an eyeshadow base, guys. If you don't have an eyeshadow primer, I haven't used an eyeshadow primer in a very long time. I just end up using eyeshadow base. So I'm going to be taking my finger and patting it down, touching my finger in my powder palette just to set this. I'm going to be going into my Juvia's Place palette and I'm going to be taking this color here, and I'm going to be using this as a crease color as well as a transition color, and also applying this on the outer corners of my eye. So I'm going to be starting off with my outer corners. I'm applying this into my crease but halfway, concentrating the color on my outer corner and applying it halfway. Okay, the next thing you want to do is to just go ahead and blend everything together using your blending brush. So I am blending and I am dragging it in. I have already reduced the excess color. I used the paper towel to reduce it, so you can also do the same thing. So just from halfway out in neutral shade, and this color here, this color looks more like my skin tone, and I'm just going to be using my eyeshadow brush flat and I'm just going to be patting. Note I am not dragging the eyeshadow color, so I'm going to be concentrating on my lid, so from my crease down to my lash line, stopping at the exact place where I have my outer crease color. Try not to drag your colors. When you drag your brush on your eyelid, you're dragging the colors away. You can only drag when you feel like you've used too much color and you just want it to be really subtle. Okay. I'm going to dip this brush back into that first shade I used. I'm just going to blend it around the outer corner. This is just to reduce harsh lines, or better still, marry them together. Okay, and that is it for the eyes. So I'm going to go off camera, I'm going to line my eyes, and I'm going to do my mascara, wear my lashes, and I'll be back with you guys. For my lip color, I'm going to be keeping it really simple. I'm going to be wearing this nude lipstick from Classic Cosmetics, I think, and it's in the shade Classic Nude. this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this video was highly requested by Jennifer of Sugar's Realm, and she has always been on my neck. Niella, you need to do a makeup tutorial for people like me. I hope you understand one thing or two in this tutorial, and if you have questions, please drop them in the comment section below. I am going to do well to answer these questions. Till I see you all in my next video, do have yourself a fabulous day ahead. Bye guys.